Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and today I am giving some account advice to Cosmiczen. So Cosmiczen here, he's level 60, he's been playing the game for a little while, and he has gotten towards the end game. He is currently 2 King, the Nightmare Clan boss, and is hitting level 20 dungeons on everything except for Spider, but he is doing a little slow on the Fire Knight as well as the Ice Golem, and so he's just looking for a little bit of advice to help him move forward. And let's see what we can do. So I've already kind of gone through his champions, done a little bit of a rework as far as their gear goes. So Valkyrie here, she was originally in Relentless gear, but Relentless gear can mess up a speed tune when it comes to clan boss. So I've gone ahead and moved her over into Lifesteal. So she is in defense gloves, defense chest, and speed boots. Ideally, she would be in defense boots as well, and that is definitely something that we can move into in the future. But for now, getting these rolled up is going to be very good. She's currently at about 4,300 defense, so that'll bring her over the 4,500 mark. And then down the line, if we can get her into some defense percent boots as well, we can push her into the high 5, low 6,000. That'll come in line as well with having some more jewelry that we could get into defense. So I'd say a Valkyrie, you typically want at least 5,500 defense on. Unfortunately, we don't have any defense jewelry at all for her besides this banner. So that's just what we have to work with at the moment. Next, let's look at the Rearguard Sergeant. So what we did with her was basically she was in HP percent gloves. We moved her into defense percent, and so that's going to help her. She was closer to the 2,200 defense range if I remember before. So we've got her at 3,600 now, which is a lot better for her. Again, we just don't have the proper jewelry for her. This one's a little better. We do have some defense on this ring, as well as an accuracy banner. So if we can get her into defense with some good ac rolls, then we'll be looking solid there. As far as Irenes goes, she was looking pretty squishy. She still is. Look at this, 24k defense. 24k. Oh. 24.6k HP, 2200 defense, 175 speed, and 209 accuracy. So basically she is in this defense chest and defense gloves now. Once this is rolled up, she'll be looking a little better as far as defense goes. I also managed to switch her out of the speed boots that she was in and into some HP boots. So these can also be rolled up to make her a little tankier. She is in a defense ring and a crit damage amulet. We will want to move that to defense as well. So I think once we can make these changes, get the shield rolled up, all of that, she'll be looking probably more around the 3,300 defense range, somewhere around there. She's at the right speed for our Nightmare speed tune, and her accuracy is okay. She could use a little bit more, but not bad at all at 209. She's just going to get slightly more resistant against Ultra Nightmare, but not too bad. So that is Irenes. Jareg was actually already in a pretty good place. Basically all we did was we switched him out of this attack ring and into this defense ring. So he is currently around the 2783 defense mark. He is only in level 12 defense gloves though, so we can go ahead and get those rolled up and he will be looking a lot better, probably above the 3,000 range at that point, especially if we get these rolled up as well. And he is in an accuracy banner. Jareg, you would hope to get into a defense banner at some point since his base defense is kind of low, but that all comes with time and lots of spider runs and dragon runs in general. So Royal Guard, we did a lot of work on here. Basically, we've got him at 37k HP now. 2,400 attack, so those are around what he was at before, but now we've got him up to 191 speed. He was at about 140 before. 100% crit rate, 163 crit damage. He was at like 119% crit rate, and I think somewhere around 110 crit damage or something along those lines. So we've got him into crit damage gloves now. He was also in a defense amulet, so we switched that to crit damage. So once these are rolled up, his crit damage is going to be over 200%. He's in an HP ring as well with good HP rings, so this is a good one to roll up too. And I've got him in a defense banner. Now the one thing I wish I could fix on him would be to get him at like over 200 accuracy so that his decreased turn meter, his decreased defense, all that stuff would land. But he was in this accuracy banner before, it wasn't fully rolled, didn't have any sort of speed on it, and so it was only getting him to about the 120 range. But I just went ahead and took that off for the time being. He will want to come into accuracy at some point though. And so now let's look at a Cult Brawler here. A Cult Brawler, he is looking at about 34k HP, 2700 defense, which is not bad for him, 175 speed, so he's properly tuned, 272 accuracy, which is a little high. But that's good because that means down the line we can come in here and get him out of this accuracy banner and into a defense banner. We also want to get him into a defense amulet. If we could do that right now, that would push him over the 3k defense mark. And also down the line, we would hope to get him out of speed boots and into defense percent as well. But as I said before, that all comes with time. His build's looking alright right now. We did not mess with the Luria or Aethel. We did come in here, however, his Apothecary was in completely relentless set with 2 pieces of provoke or taunting, whatever it's called. So we came in, we moved him into all speed, moved him up from about 160 speed to 256. So he's running a lot better in dungeons now, a lot faster, and that should help us in the arena as well as far as going first goes. So yeah, that's what we've done for the champion builds. Now let's take a look at the dungeons here. As far as the Ice Golem goes, what I'm going to suggest for level 20 is we don't want Valkyrie in there per se if we can help it, because her counterattack can tend to get you killed by the boss. Richthof is okay, he is a fine choice in there. Luria is also good for some CC. Rearguard Sergeant is good for her ally protection, and Apothecary is very good to come in there. As far as someone else who could come in, he had Royal Guard in before. I don't think that's the best choice because, again, he can get you in trouble with his AoE. So we would probably want someone else to come in, something like maybe an Allure for her turn meter reduction, or some more, actually Reliquary Tender. Reliquary Tender would be absolutely amazing to come in there. We do want a decreased defense champion too. So he has Stagnite down here. Let's see, where is he? Somewhere. There he is. So he has Stagnite. I would suggest if we could get Valkyrie and probably Richthof out of there and get in Stagnite and our Reliquary Tender, we would be looking really good. That would be 100% run. It would be a lot faster than what we're currently doing because, as you probably saw, 8 minutes 21 seconds is not a time we want to be doing on Ice Golem. So we just need that AoE decreased defense from Stagnite to increase the time, and then Reliquary Tender to make sure that we're not going down. So that's Ice Golem. Let's take a look at Dragon. Dragon, he's actually doing alright. This team is fine. I would suggest getting a Poisoner in there, although I can see why he doesn't use either of his because he's got OB and Erinyes. So he's just relying on Royal Guard to do the damage, which is fine. His time is just fine on there. He can go ahead and bump it up as time goes on. And then let's take a look at Fire Knight here. So Fire Knight, this is not the team he was running. This was something that I was experimenting with, but unfortunately the War Maiden just couldn't survive. So basically, if we were building a Fire Knight team, I would say we probably don't want these two in there. So we would want probably Reliquary Tender and Allure. So I think this team could do quite a good job for you. With the counterattack, we should have a plenty easy time breaking the shield. Let's see, what would we need though? We'd probably need the rear guard to come out for Stagnite. So where is he? There we go. So this team actually I think would be better because we'd have speed up, 3-hit A1, a 1-hit A1, but revives on Allure. We'd have AoE decrease attack and defense as well as shields and counterattack. I think this team would work absolutely fine to get us through there. So that would be what I would suggest going forward. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do as far as leveling champs go. You'd have to 6-star all 3 of these to get to a point. But luckily, these 2 are going to be helpful in mini dungeons. So that would be good as well. Allure can also be helpful in other dungeons like the Ice Golem. So none of these are going to be like one-trick ponies, especially these 2 are going to do a lot for you. Let's go ahead and back out here and take a look at Spider. So Spider, we had kind of talked before about a strategy that might work here. So this is what we had originally talked about. And so basically the idea here, this team was strategized for 20. I didn't realize he was on 18. So it doesn't work here. But basically the idea was we have our speed up, we have our counter attack. The Spiderlings would target Richtof because he has lower HP. And then with his AoE A1, he would hit War Master procs on the Spider. Meanwhile, Ultimate Gallic would get his HP burn off, do a bunch of damage. And Valerie's in there as the increased attack for Ultimate Gallic. But when I ran this, I noticed something interesting. It just doesn't work. First of all, Valerie does not prioritize her increased attack, which means Ultimate Gallic doesn't use his HP burn properly right away. So it doesn't work on auto, which is a necessity for Spider 20. So that strategy is automatically out the window. So what I would instead probably suggest would be to come in here. Let's get our Stag Knight. Where is he at? So Stag Knight would come in here. He's going to give us a slow, which is very nice. And then we would want Royal Guard as well. So basically the idea here would be we're slowing down the Spider. We are speeding ourselves up. We're getting the counterattack on Richtof, doing that stuff that we need to. It's not the most effective strategy, I would say, and you got to be careful with Stag Knight because his HP needs to be higher than Richtof's, otherwise they will focus him. So I would say it's still a little bit risky. It's probably not going to be a 100% win rate no matter what you do with this setup. Down the line though, if we could get, like if we could do this long enough to get our Arbiter, then if she could come in, or actually what does Golden Reaper do? Does she have an increased attack? No, she does not. So basically we need an increased attack champion for Ultimate Gallic to work. So down the line, if Arbiter could come in here, we could have something like this, where we would have, let's just say, who do we want here? So let's say we have our Arbiter, or maybe, it's a little tough. We would have, let's say our Apothecary is Arbiter, just for the sake of saying stuff. We'd have Valkyrie in there for shields, and then we would have Ultimate Gallic coming in there as well. So he would be our increased attack, or Arbiter, not Apothecary, would be our increased attack, and that would allow Gallic to come in and do his HP burn. And that Gallic does need to be quite a bit slower than Arbiter, so keep that in mind. Because he can boost his own turn meter, and so you need it to cycle around properly. Then Valkyrie would be giving us shields to protect us, Stag Knight giving us the AoE decreased defense and decreased attack, as well as a slow on the Spider. He's very helpful here. And then our Royal Guard would be coming in and giving us some AoE damage. I think overall this team would work. Like I said, it would have to be Arbiter though, not Apothecary, because we do need the increased attack. So this is more long-term talk. Also, if you get a Gorgorab or like a Seeker, anything like that, that could work as well. So that is just stuff to keep in mind. Now, as far as Clan Boss goes, let's go ahead and take a look at that. The current team that he is running, let's just look here, is the Jareg, what's her name? Rearguard Sergeant, OB, Valkyrie, and Rennies. First of all, Valkyrie, you want to be in the back of your lineup, so you don't want her going before Rennies. As far as the turn order goes on the counterattack, obviously speed is what's going to determine it when they're actually taking their turns, but they do attack in the order that they're set in, so I would suggest probably having Rennies forward. Although, overall, I would suggest taking Rennies out. I don't think she is the best for this combo. You could have someone else in who would provide like a weaken or something else, because Obi is going to be fine doing poisons on his own. So let's see, who do you have here that could potentially come in? Bulwark would be absolutely amazing. So that would probably be my suggestion. Frozen Banshee could also come in instead of OB. She's a little bit easier to build as well. But since you already have him 6-starred, she is absolutely not a priority. But yeah, if you could get Bulwark in there, so then your clan boss team would be Bulwark lead, and then Jareg, probably OB next, then Rearguard Sergeant, and finally Valkyrie in the back. I think that would be a much better situation for you. You'd get more reliable debuff extension than what Arenies brings. Your poisons would stay up just fine. Your decreased attack would be a lot more consistent because of the debuff extension he brings, and Rearguard would pick up the slack on that as well. So I think if you did that, you got the gear and accessories into a little bit better place, that would be a team that could potentially one-key the Nightmare Clan boss. I don't know for sure. I think it would take quite a bit of gearing to get it to that point, but it could definitely put out some serious damage. So yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at Arena. I think that'll be the last thing we look over. So the team we are currently running is Skullcrown lead, Luria, Valkyrie, and Maneater. That's definitely not what we want in here. We want Apothecary coming in. Luria is okay. Who all do we have though? We do have Blood Gorge, so I'd probably say something like this would be a little bit better. Come in with a speed lead into our turn meter boost. Blood Gorge, I haven't messed with at all. Let me go ahead and check out his stats. He's really slow, so we would want to bring up his speed as well. Our Valkyrie's at a pretty decent spot though. What about our Skull Crown? How's she looking on speed? 179, so not too bad. So I think that would be something that would definitely be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and just take a stab at this, but I imagine their Arbiter is going to be faster, which would be really bad for us. Let's see here. We actually do go first, so we're going to go ahead and turn meter boost. Their Arbiter cuts in. Our Valkyrie gets a go. We get our counterattack off. We are going to go A3 here. We knock down the Arbiter, which is good, but the Rotos does manage to kill a couple of ours. Then we're going to come in with Blood Gorge. Attacks all enemies. That'll be good. Boom. So we knock him out. Rotos is the only one left, and we should be able to counterattack here and take him out. And beautiful. So I think that's how it's going to work. You don't have an AoE decreased defense right now, besides your War Maiden, which is only level 50. So I think that is just going to be your best strategy at the moment. So that being said, Cosmiczen, I do hope this is helpful for you. You do need some work on your Great Hall as well. You've been going kind of even. You've been focusing a lot on attack though. Attack is basically the worst thing in the Great Hall to focus on, so I would suggest staying away from that as much as possible. It does seem like you've done some focusing on accuracy, which is good. What you're probably going to want to do is start building one of these up to level 10, because they are required for the Arbiter mission, getting one of them up to 10. So let me look at your champions real quick. I'm guessing it'll probably be green accuracy is what you're going to want to build up to 10. Yeah, I think so. Green accuracy is probably going to be your main focus. You could also do blue since you have Jareg and Royal Guard, but it's already up at 6, which is pretty decent. So yeah, your green accuracy is a little bit lower. So yeah, maybe work on blue accuracy up to 10 or green, depending on what you think will be better for you. And that should help you out. Where are you in the missions right now, by the way? Win a 5-star, 6-star banner from stage 10 or higher to Spire's Den. So you're still in the 3rd area. You're a little ways away from Arbiter. But since you're already up there doing the level 20 dungeons, that means you're basically all of the way you need to get. Another thing I would suggest, since I am telling you to 6-star these champions, basically I was saying Bulwark, Allure, Reliquary Tender, and Stagnite were the ones I suggested. Make sure you do not fully ascend those, because you have some missions coming up that are going to be ascend a champion, like fully ascend a champion of each affinity. So there'll be one for blue, one for green, one for red, one for void. and they are not retroactive. So make sure when you do rank these champions up, you do not fully ascend them to 6 stars until you get to those missions, because otherwise you're going to have to 6-star a bunch more champions and it's going to be tough. So keep that in mind. I would hate for you to get to that point and have that issue. So that's going to be it for my advice today. Like I said, I hope it's helpful. Another thing I noticed was that you don't have your sparring pit in order. I'd suggest trying to get 3 4 stars in here at the same time, at the same level. That way they're all leveling up equally. As you can see, you have 2 4 stars here. I actually put this one in because the one you had in here with the 3-star was already done. But if you get 4 of the same level in here, then you can just come in and they'll all be ready at the same time, click them, and then you know how long it'll be before they're going to be ready again. So that's it for today, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Leave a comment down below or join the Discord if you have anything you'd like to talk about. I'm always happy to give advice, and thanks for watching.